In today's video, I am going to show you how to use the stick and stitch embroidery paper, and we're going to do an embellishment onto our snippet roll strip, and we're going to add a beautiful butterfly, embroidered butterfly right here on one of these areas. I might put it here. I think I'm going to put it down here in this section. Okay, so that's going to be part 2 of today's video. Part 1 is actually I'm going to show you how I prepare the hollow books, the altered books that I offer in my Etsy shop. I'm going to show you how to prepare it. And you can do this yourself, or you can buy one from my shop when you buy a kit, or you can get the book just by itself without picking up a slow stitch kit. So you can get it with a slow stitch kit or by itself. Now I like to use, for most part, the Reader's Digest condensed books. And the reason why that is because, for one thing, it's a little bit deeper, so it gives you more room to put stuff in. So it is approximately 1.25 inches deep, whereas some of my other books are just either like an inch deep. If it's the Nancy Drew book, I think it's like maybe 3/4 of an inch. So the Reader's Digest actually is really a really nice size. Now, one of the things you want to keep in mind is when you're looking for a book that you want to alter into a hollow book, it needs to have a hard cover. It needs to have a good spine so that the spine is not coming loose here. You want to make sure this is very tight. It's not coming loose. And the book is not crooked. So let me show you. So you see how this book is really nice and straight, but if I were to move this spine, I can move it that way, I can move it this way. So you want to just make sure that the book is not, because like if they're stacked the wrong way, when you find them at the thrift stores or the used book shops and things, then that affects how they sit. And then when you glue it, that is permanently at that angle. So I always try to look and make sure that it is as straight as possible here. You don't want those pages going on an angle. Okay, so that's the first tip when it comes to what you want to look for in a book that you're going to turn into a hollow book. And that would apply to basically any thing you wanted to do to it, but especially for the hollow book. Next, you want to get either archival glue or the tacky glue. I've always used the tacky glue. It's always worked fine. It seals the pages really, really well, and we have never had a customer come back and say that the pages came apart. Not that that couldn't happen, but the ones that I have had glued for a long time, I mean, I'm talking years, and they've never come apart. So this tacky glue, and this is what I've always used. I use the Aleene's tacky glue in all of my crafting. I do have the art glitter glue, but I've never used it yet. Now, the only thing I'm seeing here that I don't like are these little globs of glue that for some reason this glue, it wants to clump up on you sometimes. So that, I don't want that. So I'm going to try to see if I can get those off. I've never had a problem with air bubbles, but this is not air bubbles. This is definitely little clumps. And you want to make sure you put a piece of wax paper on the front and back cover. You do not want to glue your cover to your pages, and the wax paper will peel off. You just have to wait, preferably overnight, and then it will peel off pretty easily. And you want to use a generous amount of glue, obviously, because once you go to cutting, you do not want it to come apart. And the more of these that you make, then you learn different little tips and tricks along the way that make it easier. But just make sure you're applying a really nice coat of glue. Now you won't see the cutting part of it because my husband does that on his electric saw. I have never attempted to cut one of these by hand, which I know people do, but I would never do it. It's just too tedious and time consuming. My customers love these hollow books, and so I'm usually making at least 1 or 2 a week, and I am so happy that they love them because they are fun. They are so super fun. We have made hollow books for people in Hollywood. We have made our hollow books for college students, for professionals, putting laptops, putting external hard drives for storage. So there's an abundance of ways to use these. It's not just for hiding jewelry or money. People put a gun in it. Not that I would do that, but your phone, you can, we used to make a little notch in the end of the book here, and you could put your phone and then have the cord for the charging come out here. So I like to put 2 coats of the glue. It's just extra added protection. You cannot go wrong by putting too many coats. It's just, at least, you want to do at least 2 coats. And then once it's dried, if you see any pages that have separated, you didn't get enough glue, then just simply add another coat of glue. Okay, so I'm going to lay it down this way. I'm going to put it over here, out of the way. I am going to go and rinse my paintbrush out. You do not want to leave these overnight. You want to rinse these right away. And then we will get to work on our butterfly and embroidery with our stick and stitch paper. Okay, so when you receive your kit, which I don't have the butterfly in the shop yet. I need to get it in the shop. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. Maybe I'll do it with this. So so this is what the paper looks like. And then I print it out onto this. And now you want to take a piece of fabric, and since I'm just going with the color choices that I have here, and you want to peel the backing. So now there's two different types that I use. I use one that is just the paper that you don't peel off the backing. And then there's one that you peel off the backing. Okay. Doesn't really matter. I'm just looking at this to see which way do I want this to go. Okay. I think I kind of like it like that. Okay, make sure you get all the strings out of the way. Okay, I want this to be here. Doesn't really matter what angle you put it at because you can move that around. Okay, I'm just going to trim off the excess that went over the edge there. Because I don't want to have that stickiness running into that all the time. Okay. And this backing, obviously, you don't need that. Let's discard that. Now, oh, something stuck to there. Okay, I'll get that off later. So now we're going to need our embroidery floss. Oh, here this is. Man, I was looking all over for this. You will not believe it. I mean, I was scouring, and I said, where did I put my tiny house snippet that I did on the snippet roll? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's all I can say. All right, so you will need an embroidery needle. You will need a threader. All right, let me see. Seems like my husband borrowed my embroidery needle. Oh my goodness. You think you have everything you need right at the fingertips, and then you remember these things. Let me see, where's my... Let me get my sewing kit. I have more needles. Okay, so I like the Clover brand. These are gold eye embroidery needles, size 3 to 9. So I don't know what size this one is, but it looks like the largest size, so that's the one I'm going to use. And we're going to thread. First, I'm going to decide I'm going to outline the butterfly. That's the first thing. Now, I could have made a patchwork, like I have my teapot, it's a patchwork, and that would be beautiful for the butterfly as well. But I can always come in and add little spots of fabric if I wanted to. But I think what I'll do is put little pieces of lace when I'm all done. Now the beauty about this stick and stitch paper is you do your embroidery, then you take it to your sink and you run warm water and it dissolves all that paper. And your stitches are in place. It doesn't pull the stitches. So, I mean, I love this. Just the best invention. And the ink, you know, ran through the printer. It doesn't bleed off onto your fabric or at all. It is a little tricky to get the adhesive off the back of that. So, and even with the other type, when it dissolves, it kind of wants to leave a residue. So you need to rub and rub and rub until you don't see any white residue left. But other than that, you're good to go. Okay, I am contemplating, oh, what color? I'm thinking, I don't know, but I'm somehow, well, you know, I mean, this is whimsical. You know, I can make it any color I want. thinking. Ooh, I think I'll do yellow. Okay, let's go with yellow. I have never seen a green butterfly, but I have seen, of course, yellow. So we're going to go with yellow. So this is going to be a yellow butterfly. And we are going to use 3 strands of our embroidery thread. And I use the, what is that? The DMC brand. So there's 6 strands. You just want to peel them and separate them apart. And you want 3 and 3, and then just come down and separate it, open it up. And there you go. And you have another 3 for another time. So I like to go ahead and knot one end. And then that's ready to go. I'm so happy that I'm feeling better. This has been a rough week. Oh, you just don't even know what I go through. Taking that medicine for the heart, it can be anywhere from midnight to 5 a.m. So you know what it's like to try to sleep, wondering when is the heart going to go up and when do I need to take the medicine so it doesn't get up too high. It is a nightmare. So, when I say I'm happy that I'm feeling better today to do this project, that is, I mean, it's like, I'm happy. Okay, so we're going to just do probably a chain stitch. So I'm just going to do little stitches forward, and I mean, I just go with whatever feels good and looks good for the project. Now you just want to stay on the line, obviously. And this is so small, so I'm not going to use an embroidery hoop. I do have a 4-inch embroidery hoop, and I do include that as a extra gift that I give in some of the kits. Now, not every kit gets the 4-inch embroidery hoop, so you need to look through each of the listings. I don't think it's in the title of any of my listings, but if you look through, I believe the Tiny House Folk Art kit comes with a 4-inch embroidery hoop. And then I also offer a 6-inch embroidery hoop with the Camper slow stitch kits. So there's 2 Camper slow stitch kits. So you can, and then so if you buy multiple kits, you can get a 4-inch hoop and you can get a 6-inch hoop. Alright, I got just a little piece right there. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that. Alright, let's come back over to this side. I just want the outline of the butterfly. This reminds me of when I did the stamped art onto the cardstock, and then I had to put all the little holes to be able to sew onto the cardstock. I did a project with that, and that was hard. I mean, because that's like, it's not easy to punch through cardstock like that with your hand and with a tool. But it turned out pretty. It was really nice. But needless to say, you haven't seen me do more here, have you? No. So it's much easier to go through fabric, something that's soft, versus trying to punch and poke a needle through the cardstock. That is difficult. I will have to do a project with the crocheting. I don't know how many of you are actual crocheters, but if any of you are and you would like to see a video of how to crochet onto cardstock, let me know and I can do a video on that. Just leave me a comment. Okay. All right, so it's beginning to take shape there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up off camera, and then I will be back when it's finished, and then when I'll take it to the water and I'll show you how to get the paper off. It's very easy to do. We'll put antenna on it, and maybe I'll do something more with the body. I think I'll do some satin stitch here for the body, and I'll do the antennas and 2 little French knots, and then I'll come in with the lace and buttons and other little embellishments after we get the paper off. So it's gonna be so cute. Oh, this is gonna be cute. Okay, so yeah, I think I will definitely put this in the shop and have it as a kit for you guys. And then you can have a butterfly and make your own butterfly embellishments. It's just fun, 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 fun. Okay, so let me finish this up and I will be right back. Okay, so I finished the stitches and now I just need to let the water run on it. Just gonna get it down real close. You can see the paper washing away. And I have this little rack here in my sink, and it makes it perfect when I do this. Okay. So now you can see all of that paper washed away. There are my stitches perfectly intact. And now this is going to need to dry. And I'm thinking I'm going to go pop it in the dryer so that it can dry faster for me. And then we'll move on to adding more embellishing on it. So what I'm going to do is cut this out in a way where it will be a pretty embellishment for the snippet roll. But I'm going to leave this fabric up here so that I can have the antennas put on there. And then we'll decorate more in the body. But see how easy this is? I love this. Alrighty. So now our butterfly is dry. And what I decided was I've added a lot of these cute little embellishments to make a little cluster. And I'm going to put on this cute little butterfly metal charm. It has a little hole there, so I'm going to weave a ribbon through that and put that on there. And then for the antenna, I've got this white ribbon and this little red button, and I'm going to put that on, and then this white button here. And now for the butterfly, what I've done is I have these little flowers, and I'm going to just tack those down on the wings of the butterfly, and that's going to give it some 3D dimension. And then I will come back in once I've got this secured in place. All right, which I have to do very, very carefully so they don't fall off. Let me see if I can do that. I might have to take them off and do it one by one. So let's see. And then I'm going to use my liquid pearl, and I'm going to just put a little dot of liquid pearl in the center of each of these, just to give it some sparkle. I thought that would be a really nice addition. So if you go through your stash, you will find all kinds of ribbon and lace that you can use to embellish. So I just cut off little pieces of lace from a strip, and obviously that lace was very tiny, 1/4 inch wide lace. Okay, this is perfect because I just wanted something small and delicate to put on the butterfly, and I wanted to match the colors, which were pink, a soft pastel pink, and green. Okay. All right, now, all right, I have this cluster of ribbon, and then the lace, and then this piece of lace right there. So I want everything to just peek out just a wee little bit. I'm going to take the embroidery floss, and I'm going to pick it up, lay that piece aside, and I'm going to go straight down the middle of this satin stitching that I did, and then I will be able to secure it on that so that then it just blends right in. And then now this piece that I want to peek out over here. Okay, I'm just gonna go in here, right at the bottom of that, and then I'm going to just follow the same stitching that I did around and secure that lace to the cluster. There you go, so it blends in really nicely. Okay. Now I'm going to put a knot in this and secure that. Okay, so now here's my little cluster. And I have this ribbon up here thinking I might turn it around in this direction. There you go. And I want to bring it more, and I'm going to leave room so that I can cut off the house. So now the butterfly is here. Okay. So I'm going to secure this with a pin, and then I'm going to get my needle and thread, and I'm only going to give a little bit right now just to secure this in place. Just 2 stitches right at the moment. There we go. All right, so now what I do when I have some that's so short, then I cut that off and I separate the 2, and then I tie a knot twice. Or 3 times, or 4 times, or however many times I decide. I want to make sure it is secure. Okay. All right, so now there's that part. I can take the pin out. Come back over here with my yellow. Come back up here. Just going to repeat right along the same stitching. And now this will hold this into place. I'm going to go on either side of the body. Okay, so that's going to hold that into place now. And again, I will put a knot just by using that. Okay, so now that leaves the ribbon for the antenna. And again, you can use any color that you want. And I'm thinking I might use, instead of that white one, I will get out black. All right, so I don't need a very big piece. Okay, all right, I like that better. Okay, so now we need thread this needle, and we are going to stitch that button to the antenna. this is going to be right there. Okay, so the book has dried, and I just wanted to show you. So now the next step, so look at this. Those pages are glued in place. You want to get your ruler, and you want to leave at least 3/4 of an inch from the spine, the top, the bottom, and the side. If you go too close, then it's harder to keep it straight. So that's what we found. We've been making these books for over 15 years, so that's what's worked best for us. And then now you get your cutting tool, and preferably if you know how to use an electric saw, then that's what you want to use. I don't remember what's the name of it. Skill saw, whatever, I don't know. Scroll saw. There's so many different ones my husband has. I don't know which one it is, but anyway. That's the type you would want to use, and you want to make sure your back cover and your front cover are out like this so you don't put a hole in your covers. That has happened to my husband. So you want it like this, and then if you're going to just use a straight edge razor, you want to use a metal ruler to keep it, whichever edge, start cutting on one line and then just move around, and then you're just going to slowly take out pages. So that's that, and then once we're done, I put a decorative piece on the top of here, and then the bottom I glue felt, so it's a beautiful presentation. And then it's not heavy, it's very lightweight. So now moving on back to our snippet roll and the butterfly embellishment, what I did is I found a darker piece. This is like a brown piece of embroidery thread, and it's the type that is braided, so it doesn't pull apart like the other ones do. So I found that. Excuse me. And then I took my button and I looped it through and tied a knot. So now that is going to be the upper part for the antenna of the butterfly. And so once it's in place, then I can move it around a little bit, and but it's fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight going into certain direction or anything like that. And this button is like shimmery, so it's so pretty. And so I'm just going to move the little charm off in this button. I'm just going to sew this into place here now, and I'm just using regular needle and thread. Okay, so let's see, hopefully I put a knot in the end of that. Yes, I did. Okay, so now just want to get my button lined up. So it's a little tricky with this loop. Okay. So I have to turn it in a certain way so that it will put the antennas the way I want them. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. Now I will secure this another time. So now I need to go back on this side, come up, go through the loop. Come back down on this side. Okay, there we go. All right, now It's a little off-centered, but anyway, I'll fix that later on. Not a problem. And now I want to add this one button down here to the bottom. And again, I'm going to just use this thread. I could use the floss, but I decided let's just use this. And I want to make sure I keep in mind that I'm going to cut it off of this section here later on. But for right now, and I'm going to just go through the 4 holes. Okay. This one I'll put a knot in it. I didn't put a knot in the other one because I have to reposition that. It didn't come out centered the way I wanted it to. Now what's going to be really tricky is putting this charm. Oh, look at that. Oh, the poor button. I gotta take it off there. I can't. But careful not to cut the... This is going to be tricky. Alright, let me try that again. This is definitely putting my patience to the test, and yours as well, because you have to wait while I'm doing this. Okay, I think what I have to do, okay, this needs to be at the top. I had it at the bottom before. Okay, so I'm going to come in through here. Alright, so lay it down here like this. Come in here. And then keeping that loop, go through. Hope you all are seeing that. Okay, now let me see if I have it. Okay, that's much better. It was way off to the side, the poor little thing. His antennas were not in the right spot. Okay, so I am happy with that. I am not going to worry about that right now at all. I can go back later and secure it a little bit more. Okay, so now let's look at this charm. But look at how adorable this is. Look at how pretty this is turning out. I mean, I just am really happy. So I have the tiny house embellishment, which the kit, that's in my shop, and now the butterfly embellishment. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Absolutely am happy with that. So now this little charm, I have to figure out what am I going to do and how am I going to do this. So I'm thinking, let me just get this piece here. Okay, so now I've got him on the... Okay, so now, okay, this is going to be tricky because it's not exactly... Oh, how do I don't even know. This may be too heavy. It may not be the right... Yeah, I don't think it's the right thing for this, so we'll put that to the side. I am thinking of a word tile though, so let's get out the word tiles and let's see what we have. I didn't really put a whole lot to do with sewing on here, so exercise patience, yes. Okay, Secret Garden, that one might be nice for that. I think I do like that. For the butterfly, I like that. Gentle Breeze. Thought I had something to do with the wings, but I think I put it in with a customer order. Best Life Ever. Love, joy, and peace. Now, birds of a feather I want to use when I do the bird embellishment. So this one I'm just going to save for that. But I like the Secret Garden. I'm going to use that. Okay. These are going to go back in the jar. Okay, this I'm going to trim it down. Okay. There, I like that. A little bit more off the bottom. Okay, and then I want to ink it. This really needs to be inked. I like to use my two colors. Take that off so that I can actually hold on to it. Okay, let's see. Walnut stain, I thought I had. Let me see. What do I have? There you are. Vintage photo. This is too dark. Walnut stain is way too dark. So I want this to be lighter. So I put the antique linen on first. And then I follow it up with the vintage photo. I need to get my re-inkers out and to replenish that. I'm just going to take this and put it on top of that. Oh yeah, perfect, perfect. Just a nice subtle staining there. I love this combination because it just reminds me of tea staining. It just is perfect. Actually, that would be so pretty just between it like that. Just leave it. But okay, since I'm going to bring it here, it's going to go right down here. I like that. Okay, but it needs a little more. Little more. Take that stark whiteness away. There, very nice. I like it. What do you think? Looking good? I think so. Okay, now this I'm going to just glue into place, and then I will come back with my liquid pearls. Okay, now this has a plastic backing on it. So if I can get this off in a reasonable amount of time, let me see if this will work. I've never tried this with this particular. It is a very, very sticky backing. See if I can go this direction with it. I don't want to put a hole in my fabric, which I did, yes, of course, of course. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can get this to peel off. This is so super. I need to be able to get it to the edge. There. Because I want to show you this, because if you get one of these in the kit, there we go, okay. You really want to take this plastic off. So then you have your piece of fabric. And you can sew, which of course you could sew that with, you know, there we go. Okay, so that comes off. I mean, it is really thick because you can, you know, put this through the printer, obviously, so they want it to make sure that it's definitely going to go through your printer with no problem. All right, so I'm just going to put a little light let me see if that's going to be enough. Okay, good. I like it like this. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. And now the liquid pearls are really going to make it look beautiful. Okay, since I have pink and green and the base is yellow going on here, so I am going to use every color. So we're going to put a little yellow in there. And these liquid pearls really, I mean, make it come to life. Okay. And then I'm just going to go around each of the centers, my little flowers. How beautiful. Absolutely adorable. This is just making it so much fun. And isn't that what our crafting is all about, is fun? It is. Okay, I like that. I'm going to put a little dab right there. So, and then you store these. If you're not familiar with the liquid pearls, I buy these off of scrapbook.com when they had a really good deal. I got the holder for free, and then I purchased these because I got the holder first and then I purchased these separate. And they come in a variety of color. There's more colors than these. I really need to add like the blue, purple. Oh, purple, wouldn't that be beautiful? And orange, because orange and green are my two favorites. So I need to add more colors. Okay, so here you can see it. Isn't that just adds that extra little touch that it needs. So the button there in the center is, you know, so shimmery, and then now when those liquid pearls dry, it is really going to be beautiful. So what I will do is now add the bird and the flower here, which the flower is pretty big. So that's probably going to take up this whole area here of this end. This is my flower pattern, so you see how big that is. And then the bird, remember, let me get the bird out again. Where's the bird? Bird, 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 bird. A little purple bird in here somewhere. I don't know, where did he skadoodled off somewhere there. I put him in here. Here he is. Okay, so here's the bird. So if I do the bird in the flower, because I want to leave room here so I can, so this will be one embellishment, the butterfly. The tiny house will be its own embellishment, so I will cut it off of this snippet strip. And then the bird and the flower will be its own embellishment. And so that will, so I would be able, I would have these three for this one snippet roll. So I think that is really, that has turned out very nice, really, really pretty. I do have other charms, so I'm going to get my charms out and I'll go through those and see what I want to add. I have a house charm. I may incorporate it somewhere in here somehow, which would probably be just sewing it flat. It's not a three-dimensional like this one. It's flat with just a little loop at the top. That is so pretty. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. So I hope you will give this a try and pick up one of these slow stitch kits in my Etsy shop, and then you can make your little embellishments and put them on your snippet roll. You could leave it just like this and add this to a pillow, a quilt block, a little placemat, mug rug, you know, so many options. Just would be so pretty. And I have like a little stuffed animal collection of bunnies, and these are handmade out of fabric. They're not the fuzzy type of stuffed animal. And so I might take this whole thing and leave it whole and put it on like a bigger piece, just as a little, like a little lap piece for the bunnies, you know, something like that. So just have fun with it. I mean, there's so many avenues outside of junk journaling that we can use our embellishments in, and I just can just see so many possibilities. This would also be beautiful on the front of your junk journal cover. This could be like just this, a center belly piece, you know, a band, and you could wrap it from front to back. So that's a possibility. That's another option. So this could be a smaller journal. So if I made a journal this size, and then this could actually be the focal point on the front, and then the bird and the flower would be the embellishment, the focal point on the back. So that's an option. So just, you know, have fun and just, you know, enjoy using your slow stitch kits, and just think outside the box. Let's be right brain and think outside the box. Our creativity can take us so many places. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to use the stick and stitch paper, and that's in my kit. And the butterfly kit will be coming soon in my Etsy shop next week. I'll get that in there. It takes me, I'm a little slower these days. It takes me a little longer to get things done. And I am trying my best to have a weekly video, and I was saying Thursday, but it's not always, it doesn't always work out Thursday. Especially like if it's a process that I have to wait and I have to rest up in between doing things now. So I hope you will understand that and bear with me on that as well. It will be a weekly video, and this week I think I posted it Monday or Tuesday, and so it could be just a weekly video. I'm not going to lock myself into a certain day anymore. I'm just gonna, it's going to be a weekly video. Could be at the beginning of the week or the end of the week. So, and if you hit the bell notification after you subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell, and then when I do upload the video, you'll get notified. If you follow me on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, I always post a heads up that I've put a new video out, so you get notification there as well. So I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed this. So join me in the next video where we're going to add our our flower and bird embellishment, and we'll be doing the applique like we did with the tiny house, and I'll walk you through how I do this. Super easy, and it turns out so pretty. Let me get my purple kit. Let me see if I can let me find where I put my purple, and then I can show you. It is so beautiful. Okay, so this is the bird and the flower and the heart. I have a heart kit in my shop, the bird and the flower kit in the shop, and then I just made leaf embellishment, smaller heart, and I sewed buttons all around the petals of each of the flowers here, added a yo-yo here, and then added these beautiful little ribbon flowers onto it as well. And this is going to be a journal. So I have one of my soft book kits, which the one I have in the shop is pink, but I will be adding the purple kit as well. And so this is really super easy to do. Hold on to these, and here's the back of it. I just used fabric. I put a sheer fabric over the front. I've added lace. I put rickrack underneath it there. Isn't that beautiful? So that is how wonderful it turns out. And just, you know, use colors that match and coordinate and that fit with your theme of color choice. And what I thought I would do here on the house, I wanted to show you real quick, is I'm going to take these little flat back gems and I'm going to put them right across the bottom of this house. I thought that's what it needs here. It needed something for bling here, so this is what I'm going to add. And that is going to jazz that up. It's going to make it look really, really pretty. And then on the windows, I might come in with some of these. On the doorknob down here, I'm thinking I'm going to put one there. So the possibilities, again, are endless of what you can do and what you can add to bring your embellishments to life. So I think that is just beautiful, and I got these off of Home Shopping Network, Craft Factory Creations. There are thousands of these little gems in here. I will never need any more. So thank you for joining me. Watch the next video in the series if you want to go back and start at the beginning with this series, or watch any other videos here on my channel. Feel free to do so. And I will see you in the next video. So stay safe and keep creating in the sunshine. Bye-bye.